Hi guys, in this video I cover the logical AND operator. First I go over the truth table for the operator and then I provide an example for it. Let's start out with the operator. The AND operator is a binary operator. That means it needs two operands, and the symbol for this operator are the two ampersand signs. So essentially I have an operand A, an operand B, and in the middle the AND operator. A and B can just be a variable. It can be another condition, such as what we write inside a basic if condition. And when we write this operator, we have to know what the result of the overall condition is when this operator is applied. For that, we take a look at the truth table. So we have the two operands here, and each of these operands can be false or it can be true. Now, when we have A and B, the operands, and we know what they evaluate to, then we can know what A and B will evaluate to. So when A is false and B is false, A and B will also be false. If A is false and B is true, A and B will also be false. If A is true but B is false, A and B will still be false. When A is true and B is true, A and B is also true. What we see here is that A and B is only true when A and B individually are true. All the other times, A and B will be false. And this, when you think about it logically, makes a lot of sense. When I say I want A and B, I want both. I don't want just either one of them. I want A and B. Now let's take a look at an example. In this example, I want to check if a number is between 0 and 100 and it is even. So it must be even and it must be within the range of 0 to 100. Let's start out by creating a scanner object that listens to system.in. I import this, and next I output a prompt to prompt for an input between 0 to 100, and that must be even. Now I put just a print, and next I want to read in that value into an integer variable val. So I use the scanner function, next int, that returns a value and reads it in the int variable. Next, I want to check the range. So if we imagine the range of values somewhere there in the millions and thousands of negative numbers to negative 100, eventually we are at 0, and then the positive side of numbers go up to 100 and beyond. So in this case, what I want to check if the value is somewhere between 0 and 100. It should not be below 0 in the negative numbers, and it should not be above 100 to be larger than 100. So here I use a condition. The first condition that I use is check that the value is larger or equal to 0. Now we know from the basic if conditions that if this is true, the then block will be entered and the statements in the code block will be executed. Now here I want to use the logical AND operator to add another condition. So I use the AND operator, and then I write another condition that makes sure that value is less than or equal to 100. Now I know that the overall condition, A on this side and B on this side, both have to be true, what we see up here, for the overall condition to be true. So when I write my statement here, I know that at this point the value is between 0 and 100. Let's run this program for a moment. So let's say I enter -5, nothing is outputted because it doesn't enter the then block. I can add some statement here so that we know it is skipped, and I run this again. And let's say I enter something in between. Let's say I enter 5. Now we get 5 is between 0 and 100. And if I run this a third time and I enter something above 100, 110, we see the code block is skipped. So we see that with the AND operator, all conditions have to be true. Now I could add another condition because I want to check that the number is also even. And I can add as many logical operators as I want to. What will essentially be happening is that I could treat this overall expression here as an A. I know when this part is true and when this part is true, that the overall condition here is true. So I can just treat this one as an A. And when I add another logical operator, the next part will just be B. So I can combine them as I add more operators. So what I also know from the truth table then is I can add as many logical AND operators as I want to, and I know that each of these individual conditions have to be true for my code block to be executed. Now, for this particular condition, how can I check that my value is even? I will use the arithmetic mod operator, the modulo operator, and divide by 2. After it divides by 2, I will get the result. And when I know the result or the remainder here is 0, I know that I could evenly divide by 2 without any remainder being left. And when I can divide by 2 and there's nothing left, I know that value is even. And I can update my statement here that it is also even. So we ran a moment ago with 5. Let's try 5 again with our updated condition. I can see this one is skipped because while the first ones are true, because it is between 0 and 100, when we divide 5 by 2, we get a remainder of 1. And so 5 is not even. If I run this again, and let's say I enter 6, we can see it is within the range of 0 and 100, and it is even. If I put something like 80, this works too. But if I put something, let's say 110, it is even, but with outside of the range, it does not work. So this is how the logical operator works. There's one more important thing to know, is because when we look at the truth table, we know that all the individual operands have to be true for the overall condition to be true. If we look at A here, when A is false, right, A can either be false in the first 2 lines or true in the 3rd and 4th line. If it is false, we know the overall condition is false. It doesn't matter what B evaluates true. So when A is false, there's no point in checking B. So here when we check the first condition, what the computer will do, it will see it's either negative, below 0, so the condition is false, or it is above 0. If it's negative, it knows the overall condition is false. There's no point in checking the remaining conditions here. So we'll check the first one. If it's -5, it will skip it. If it is 5 or 110, so if the first one is true, then it will move on to the next one, check the next one. So it will move on and keep checking as long as each expression evaluates to true. As soon as one evaluates to false, it will stop. So this is sometimes good to know when you're dealing with objects or certain conditions where you know if one condition should not be executed unless the previous one is true. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.